Hey there, welcome back to Badass Messaging. We're still in Module 4, Brand Messaging, and here in Lesson 4, we're going to talk about writing your bio. This is something that I included here in this brand messaging module because ultimately you're going to need to create kind of various versions of your biography, and I wanted to go ahead and tackle it here because I believe it's part of your brand messaging more than kind of something more specific. So the truth bomb here quickly is that you're going to need multiple versions of your bio to use in different places. They're not all going to be the same, but we need to make sure that you understand how to do that and kind of a couple of different iterations that most entrepreneurs should go ahead and have ready. So in this lesson, you're going to learn why your bio isn't really about you, how to craft your short bio, and how to craft the About Me page on your website, because those are a couple of different places that you just need to have those, and pretty much everybody's going to need these. So we're going to go ahead and walk through those two pieces. So let's start with the first piece, that your bio is not about you. Now, as counterintuitive as it might sound, your bio should not be about you. It's about your audience. Now, this is one of the things that a lot of people mess up. A lot of people, their bio is just about all these things they've done, about all these accomplishments, about all that. That doesn't work. What you need to be doing is thinking through how to make your bio about your audience. And so kind of the challenge is to weave your story, things about your journey, in with messaging that's about your audience. And that's what your goal is with your bio. Anytime you're writing about it, you need to be thinking about, okay, how do I tell my story, or how do I tell them something about me, but that's messaging, that's really about my audience and that will connect with my audience and get my audience, in the right place. And so let's talk about a couple of things that you do generally want to include. And these aren't always things that you're including explicitly, but they're kind of things that should happen as a result of your bio. First, they should know how you can help. Your bio really needs to tell them how you can help solve their problems. That's kind of first and foremost. They need to know, how can this person help me? If they don't know that, your bio has failed. Your bio should make you relatable. It should build a connection with your people. Now, again, for different people with the different audiences, this is going to mean different things. But if your audience wants you to have struggled, your bio should walk through how you've struggled, right? And so that's kind of what you need to be thinking about is, how do you get to be relatable so that your audience feels like, oh, okay, he or she really gets me, and they're going to be someone who I can trust because they're like me and have gone through the same kind of general path. And so that's kind of part of what you want your bio to do. And then you want to build authority. Now, so your bio should really help them decide that they can trust you. And you can do this a few different ways, but you really should have something in there to kind of build this trust. Now, some of it can be, by, laying little markers about your, kind of credibility, experience, expertise, things like that. But a lot of ways that you can build trust is literally by using words and, crafting your bio in a way that will demonstrate that you understand their problems and that you understand them, right? And so that can build authority in and of itself. So those are kind of some of the things you want to do or include in your bio, no matter what bio it is. Now, a quick warning, your bio should never be a series of details about your credentials and should most definitely not sound like a resume. A lot of times when I read people's bio, it really sounds like a like a prose version of a resume. It's them kind of describing what they've done and what their credentials are and all that. That doesn't help. Now, I'm not saying that people don't want to know your credentials. They might want to know your credentials, but they want to know a lot more than that. And if all you're doing is giving them those kinds of details, you're really missing out. So really what you want to do is anytime you're crafting a bio, ask yourself how to make it about your audience, how to kind of craft it in a way that will connect with them and make sure that they understand, how you can help them and all of those things. So that's kind of what you want to be thinking as the backdrop. Now, let's talk about crafting various bio versions. And we're going to talk about a couple of them here, just so you know kind of how to put these two basic ones together. So you're going to need to create multiple bio versions to use in different places in your business. We've already talked about that, but we want to dive into a couple of them. The first is what I call your short bio. This would be kind of combining a tagline. In my case, Harvard law grad turned online entrepreneur, with your elevator pitch and differentiator statement. So in my case, it would be Bobby is a Harvard law grad turned entrepreneur who helps serve first entrepreneurs. And then I would go from there into my elevator pitch and differentiator statement. That way, what you've done, if you think about it, if you put those things together, a quick tagline, and by a tagline, I basically mean it's a little bit of like giving a little bit of who you are, not just how you can help. So that you can see is building some credibility in there because it's who you are. And then your elevator pitch and differentiator statement were really built to explain who do you serve, how do you help them, how are you different? So it really is about your audience. So that's your short bio. Now, you can use your short bio as your intro if you're like a guest on a podcast, if you're guest blogging, anything like that, on landing pages and on sales pages. So you really can kind of craft this and take this short bio. It can be the starting place for most places that you're going to use a bio. Now, a quick note, on landing and sales pages, you may have to adapt the bio to focus on the particular problem you are solving with that offer. So as you can imagine, in my business, because I have things that are more about the legal stuff and I have things that are more about the business stuff, right? So my bio, I kind of adapt my bio based upon what I'm doing. So like my bio for the legal stuff won't be strictly my elevator pitch and core differentiator because, I need to talk a little bit more in that about how I make the legal stuff simple and easy to understand, accessible, affordable, etc. So I've got to have that in a short bio when, I'm talking about any one of my legal stuff solutions. So you may have to do the same thing. You have to tweak it, but generally the tagline with your elevator pitch and core differentiator statement will be a good place to start. That's the short bio. Now, the next thing is what to put on the About Us or About Me page or the About page. This is very simple. Use your origin story as the content for the About page on your website. So we talked about the origin story in the last lesson. That is what you do. And what you do is you kind of break it up into sections. But what I want you to know is you can also feel free to add fun facts about yourself at the end. So like if you look at my About Me page, you'll see it very much is following my origin story. But then after that, I list my core values and I list my, I think 10 fun facts about me. That's just more about letting people connect about all those things. But the beginning part, the actual kind of description that most people are going to start with is the origin story. So that should be the starting point for your About Us page. It really should be the work you did in the last lesson to create your origin story. Then you just use that in your About page. So that's that solution. So those are a couple of examples. I can't possibly give you every bio iteration, but I wanted to give you a couple of examples and help you understand how you're going to create the various versions of your bio in your business. So kind of the key takeaway here is that creating your standard bio versions now is going to make life much easier and ensure you have a consistent messaging across platforms. If you think about it, as you build your business, you're going to have people ask you to provide a bio. And if you're literally writing that on the fly, or if every time you have to create a landing page or a sales page or anything like that, you're having to redo and kind of write a bio from scratch, you're making life way too hard on yourself. So instead, create a couple of standard versions of your bio. I would start with the short bio, and then from there, you're going to also do the origin story, kind of long bio. So have those two created, and then you'll know that you have those available to you, and you can just pull them up when someone asks and provide, maybe with small tweaks, but you can just go ahead and create your bios pretty quickly. So what I want you to do is decide what bios you'll need and create them now. Now, you're going to have new ones over time, but go ahead and do the work. Now, in the next lesson, you're going to discover how to create videos using your mistaken belief statement. This is something to be powerful in your branding, and so we're going to talk about this to kind of help you think through how to really start making people aware and start making people take notice of you and your brand. So I'll see you in the next lesson.